Types of muscle fibers and motor units. Types of muscle fibers. The human body has more than 600 skeletal muscles. Each muscle is composed of many muscle fibers. There are two types of muscle fibers: slow-twitch muscle fibers, also known as type 1, and fast-twitch muscle fibers, also known as type 2. Slow-twitch muscle fibers have high concentrations of mitochondria and myoglobin. Although they are smaller than the fast-twitch fibers, they are surrounded by more capillaries. This combination supports aerobic metabolism and fatigue resistance, particularly important for prolonged submaximal exercise activities. Type 1 fibers produce less force and are slower to produce maximal tension compared to type 2 fibers. But they are able to maintain longer-term contractions. Key for stabilization and postural control. Endurance athletes often have a high percentage of slow-twitch fibers. Fast-twitch muscle fibers are larger in size, producing more force, but in a shorter time and fatigue quickly. Fast-twitch muscle fibers have lower levels of mitochondria and myoglobin. These fibers are anaerobic, with little vascular distribution. Fast-twitch muscle fibers are divided into type 2A and type 2B. Type 2A fibers are also known as intermediate fast-twitch fibers because they can withstand longer periods of activity. The white type 2B fibers have the ability to quickly generate force, but the activity is highly dependent on the ATPase and the fastest fatigue. Skeletal muscles usually contain both types of muscle fibers. The composition of each fiber varies from muscle to muscle and from person to person, and varies with muscle function and age. For example, the vastus lateralis muscle has a half fast twitch and a half slow twitch muscle fibers. Exercise can change the ratio of fibers in the muscle. For example, high jumpers and long jumpers tend to have a higher percentage of fast-twitch muscle fibers in commonly used muscles such as gastrocnemius. In contrast, long-distance runners tend to have more slow-twitch muscle fibers. Motor units. Skeletal muscle is organized into functional groups called motor units. A motor unit consists of a group of muscle fibers distributed by the same motor neuron. Motor units can consist of only a few muscle fibers or several thousand muscle fibers. The number of muscle fibers controlled by a neuron is called the innervation ratio. Fibers with a low innervation ratio can perform fine movements, while fibers with a high innervation ratio can only control gross motor. For example, with eye motor muscles, the usual ratio of neurons to muscle fibers is 1 in 10. While in the biceps brachii, a gross muscle in the upper extremities, the ratio is 1 in 1,000. The innervation ratio is 1 in 100 with lumbricals of the hand, and 1 in 300 with the dorsal interosseous muscle. While in the gastrocnemius, the innervation ratio is about 1 in 1,600. Types of motor units. There are 3 types of motor units, corresponding to the 3 types of muscle fibers. All 3 types of fibers are found in muscles, but in different proportions from muscle to muscle. All muscle fibers in the same motor unit are of the same type. The fast glycolytic motor unit, type 2B, is innervated by large alpha neurons. Therefore, these large motor units often produce quick muscle contraction, high tension, and quickly fatigue. These motor units typically have a high nerve cell to muscle fiber ratio. and are found in some large muscles such as the quadriceps. These motor units are useful in movements such as running fast, jumping high, lifting heavy objects, etc. Fast oxidative glycolytic motor units type 2A also have quick contraction times, but are more resistant to fatigue than glycolytic motor units. These medium-sized motor units can provide moderate tension for longer periods of time. These motor units are useful in activities such as swimming, cycling, and factory work. Slow oxidative motor units type 1 transmit impulses more slowly, resulting in slower muscle contraction duration. These motor units can exert a small amount of tension but can maintain this tension for a longer time. Type 1 fibers are more efficient than the other two. As a result, slow-twitch motor units, the smallest type of unit, are useful for maintaining posture, stabilizing joints, and performing repetitive fine activities such as typing, and gross movements such as long-distance running.